Yo, what's up guys? It's me again, German Fernandez, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to fold this awesome origami airplane. So before we start guys, do not forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button at the top of the screen. The good thing about subscribing is that it'll notify you as soon as I release a new tutorial, which, by the way, I do on a daily basis, so don't miss out and subscribe by clicking the button above. Alright guys, so this is the model we're going to be folding today. As you see, it looks pretty freaking awesome, and not only does it look awesome, it actually flies pretty good as well. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to be using one sheet of paper today, and it's going to measure 11 by 8 inches. So once you got that, let's go ahead and start. So what you want to do is fold this bottom left corner towards the top left, making sure that the bottom edge aligns with the top edge. So once they're nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so now we're going to open it back up, just like that. And what we want to do now is fold this bottom left corner right here towards the top right edge. But we want to make sure that this left side edge right here aligns nicely with this top one. So let's go ahead and align them nicely. Once it's all aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so once you creased it down nicely, let's go ahead and open it back up. And now what we want to do is fold the left top corner towards the end of this crease right there. So when we do that, we want to make sure that this left side edge right here aligns perfect with this bottom one. Once they're nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so once it's creased, let's go ahead and open it back up. And what we want to do now is flip over the piece of paper. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you've done that, let's fold this right upper corner towards this edge right here, where the crease ends. Making sure that this edge aligns nicely with this crease all the way down to the other crease. Okay, so once you got that aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. Once it's nicely creased, what we want to do is open it back up and flip over the piece of paper. Alright, so once it's flipped over, we want to poke this middle section. And see how those just popped up? Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to bring these two edges right here towards this middle crease. So what we want to do is just push them in, just like that. And then we're going to push this part so it's flat against the table. Alright, so once you've done that guys, what we want to do next is rotate the piece of paper towards the left. Just like that. And now what we want to do is grab this flap right here and flip it towards the left. Now what we want to do is fold this corner right here towards the middle crease, making sure that this edge right here, this one, aligns nicely with the middle crease. So let's go ahead and do that. And remember guys, like I always stress to you guys on every video, make sure to take your time and get every fold as accurate as you can. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and crease it down. Once you've done that, let's go ahead and open it back up. And now for the next step, we want to fold this bottom right corner towards this left edge right there, making sure that this edge aligns nicely with the edge that you see right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so once it's nicely creased, let's go ahead and open it back up. And now let's fold this back towards the left. Now for the next step, we're going to grab this flap right here on our left and flip it towards the right. Once you've done that, what we want to do is fold this corner towards the top corner, making sure that this bottom edge aligns nicely with the middle crease. So let's go ahead and do that. Once it's aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so now for the next step, let's grab this top corner right here, this guy, and fold it towards the right corner. Alright, so once you creased it down nicely, what we're going to do is open it back up. And we want to fold this edge right here so that it aligns with this crease and this right side corner. Once they're nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. And now what we want to do is open it back up, but we're going to fold it downwards, right where these two creases meet. So we're going to fold that down, making sure that this left side aligns nicely with the middle crease, just like that. So once you've done that, go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so let's go ahead and open it back up. And now what we want to do is fold the top corner towards the right corner using this existing crease right here. So just like that. So once you've done that, let's go ahead and flip over this flap right here towards the left. Alright, so for the next step, what we want to do is bring this edge right here towards this middle crease. Alright, so as you're bringing those two edges together, you'll notice you'll have this little tiny flap popping out that's getting in the way. Just pull it out and create your crease. And now what we want to do with this little flap right here is we want to make sure that both of its edges align together. So you see how it looks right now? So I'm slowly going to go ahead and crease it down, making sure that both edges align nicely. Alright, so once it's nicely creased, this is what yours should look like. Just like that. So now for the next step, what we want to do is set the design flat against the table and flip this flap towards the left. Now, we want to draw a line. Let me grab a pen really quick. We want to draw a line from this point right here, this guy, towards the right side crease. Alright, and when you draw the line, make sure to draw it like 2 or 3 times. That way it's easier to crease when we do so. So now what we want to do is crease along this line right here, creating a valley fold. So we're going to be folding this flap upwards. So take your time, make sure you're folding it right against that line. And when you do so, you'll be able to tell that this back section right here won't sit flat against the table, and that's completely normal. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to be grabbing this flap right here and folding this edge from here to there. And I'm going to go ahead and mark it with a pen so you guys could have a better idea of where we're creating this crease. So let's fold this edge towards this line right here, making sure it aligns nicely. So take your time. Once it's nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so once you've done that, what we want to do is grab this flap right here and shove it in this little pocket. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so if yours looks just like this, then you're doing an excellent job. So now what we want to do is flip this flap towards the right and repeat the same steps we did to this side, but to the left. Alright, so we're going to grab this left flap and flip it towards the right, just like that. And now what we want to do is fold this corner towards the middle crease, so that this edge right here aligns nicely with the middle crease. So let's go ahead and do that. Once they're nicely aligned, let's go ahead and crease it down. So what we want to do now is flip this flap towards the left. And now we want to flip over our model. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. Once it's flipped over, we want to bring this flap right here, this right flap, towards the left using this middle crease. Alright, Alright, so once you've done that, what we want to do is grab this flap and fold this corner right here towards this top left corner, making sure that this edge aligns nicely with that edge. So let's go ahead and do that. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so once you've done that, you'll notice that these two edges should align perfectly. So if yours looks like that, you're doing a good job. So now what we want to do is fold the bottom edge towards these points right here. Alright, so as you see, I'm first aligning the corner. And once I've done that, I'm going to make sure that this edge aligns nicely with that bottom edge. Once they align nicely, go ahead and crease it down. And now what we want to do is grab this flap and shove it in the little pocket right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and flip this flap towards the right and flip over the piece of paper. So let's go ahead and flip it over. And now we want to fold this corner towards this top section, making sure that this bottom edge aligns nicely with the middle crease. Once you've aligned them, let's go ahead and crease it down. Now let's fold this top corner towards this left corner, making sure that the edges align nicely. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and open it back up. And now what we want to do is fold this top edge right here to these 2 points so that it aligns with that bottom section. So let's go ahead and do that. Once it's aligned nicely, just like that, go ahead and crease it down. Alright, so now let's go ahead and unfold it again. And now we want to use where these 2 creases meet and bring the flap downwards so that it aligns nicely with the middle crease. See how it aligns? So if yours aligns, go ahead and crease it down, just like that. Now let's open the flap back up and fold the top corner towards the left using our existing creases. Alright, so now let's flip this flap towards the right. Now we want to fold this right corner towards the middle crease, making sure that this edge aligns nicely with the middle crease. And as you align them, you want to make sure that this little flap right here, that you pull it outwards, just like that. So you don't really want to mess with that, you just want to crease the bottom flap. Once you've got it creased, go ahead and try to align that flap with the one behind it. Alright, so once you've creased it down, that means that these 2 should be nicely aligned. Alright guys, so if yours is looking like this, then you're doing a good job. Let's go ahead and flip over the design. Okay, so let's grab a pen. So imagine that this edge right here continued onto this right side. What we want to do is mark it right there in the middle of the crease. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to be drawing a line that's at the same angle as this edge right here, but from this top point to the bottom. So as you see, this aligns perfectly with that. They're at the same angle. So go ahead and draw your line, draw it like 3 times, make sure not to rip the piece of paper. Now we want to draw a line from this corner to this corner right here. So from there to there. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and repeat these same steps towards the left. So what we want to do is draw a line from here to here. So like I said, you want to make sure to align your ruler at the same angle, see, as this edge. Once they're nicely aligned, go ahead and draw your line. Now let's draw another line from this top corner up here to this bottom corner. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so now for these next steps. What we want to do is, you see this crease right here? We want to go ahead and mount and fold that. So go ahead and take your time, make sure to fold it perfectly along that line. Alright, so that's a mount and fold. So once you're done doing that, this is what yours should look like, just like that. We're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps to this line. Alright, so once you're done folding that section, what we want to do is bring those two mount and folds together using that middle crease. So go ahead and push them together, and yours should look just like this. Now we want to go ahead and open it back up, and we want to create a valley fold right along this line right here. So that means we're going to be folding it upwards. So we want to grab this flap, but we want to make sure to leave this bottom section alone. Let's just leave it there. Alright, so let's go ahead and create a valley fold along that line. Once it's nicely aligned, go ahead and crease it down. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and fold along this edge right here. So we're going to grab that bottom section and just fold it upwards as far as it allows us to. Just like that. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and flip it back downwards and do the same thing to the line right here, right above. So what we want to do is grab this flap and fold it right along that line. So this is called a valley fold. Alright, so once you've done that, let's go ahead and crease it down nicely. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and fold this towards that edge. So we're just going to bring it upwards, just like that. Alright, so let's start shaping up this model. So what you want to do is, to this right back side, is push the design downwards and bring the two mount and folds together. Just like that. Now let's bring the valley folds upwards. Okay, so once you brought both of the valley folds together, this is what your model should look like. And what we want to do next is create a crease from this point towards the right, so that it's at the same angle as that top edge right there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and unfold that flap, and we want to open up the design and reverse fold along those creases we just created. So we're going to go ahead and valley fold those and slowly bring the design back together. Just like that. Alright guys, so that was the final step. This is what your origami should look like right now. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate it and flip it over. That way you can inspect yours and make sure that everything is correct. There we go. So if yours looks like this, then you did an excellent job. Alright guys, well I hope you guys had a blast. I hope yours turned out great. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button right here at the top of the screen. Good part about subscribing is that I release tutorials on a daily basis, so don't miss out and subscribe now. And do not forget that if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. It really helps out my channel and I would really appreciate it. Alright guys, well thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.